And it is very difficult to get in here, everybody, so we do have to spend a bit of time on the Game Drive channel just helping everyone in here. One of the guests has said he's seen another leopard down there. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We're just going to sit still, everybody. We're going to wait here and let things play out. We don't want to have too many vehicles moving around at the same time. Moving, he's coming towards you, Taxon. He's up, he's moving. He's now moving in a northerly direction. Tax, I can't follow him from here. I'm going to have to go through the other side. He's just gone past the northern side of the termite mound. Okay, let's carry on. We'll see if we can find him again. He's just round the other side. Shouldn't be too hard to get there. Absolutely fine. And there won't ever be more than 3 in the sighting at a time, but it does mean it's just quite difficult to follow him. Okay, I'm going to go through here. We're not going to make it through there, are we, Liam? Liam, of course, is the practical one of this little arrangement that we have. We're just going to look around. Liam's standing up, scouring the area. I think Tax has got a view of him. So. Alright, let's go back to Brent. I think he's out of this thick stuff. Let's try and get around.
What an amazing morning. How exciting to have young Sindile back in the area. Of course, as exciting as it is to see young Sindile, it is a possible threat to Queen Karula and her cubs. Now, even though he is related to Karula, if he came across those cubs, he would pose a massive threat to them. So we're still not quite out of the thickets yet, but we're in a far more open area than... Oh, we got to watch out very carefully for things like that. You can see it there. It's a very large hole. A very good morning to Shell in Detroit. Shell's wondering, would Tingana allow him to stay close to Djuma? Oh, sorry, I'm getting caught in something here. And sorry, Shell, I'll be with you in a second. And I don't know what is going on. Aha, there we go. Nope, not quite. How on earth did that happen? That is a very strange... I'm not sure how that was even possible. Ah, that's how it was possible. Okay, I'm back. So, sorry about that. Cable confusion. So, Shell's wondering whether Tingana will allow him to stay around Djuma. No. Tingana would definitely chase him and try actually kill him if he got the possibility. There we go. Aha! A road! Yay! Now, of course, being young Sindile, he has definitely chosen one of the more difficult areas to stick with him. There we go. Isn't that exciting though? But it is, as I said, as exciting as it is, it does sort of throw a spanner in the works for the leopard dynamics. Tingana will chase him. I think Karula might even get quite aggressive with him if he comes across her. And Karula was in this area earlier, so I wonder whether he's maybe picked up her scent and trying to see if he can get a free meal. So I know what we're going to do now. Jean-Ray and myself are going to go have a good look at the hyena den, the one that Jamie found that single hyena in recently, and maybe we'll be lucky to see the first emergence of the latest edition of Djuma hyena cubs. It also gives us a good chance to check around towards Gallagher Pan, see if we can find any tracks of Queen Karula. Remember, if you want to ask us what's going on, who's that leopard, why has he got a collar, use the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. I'm pretty sure James probably covered this, but the reason that leopard has a collar is he actually caught and attacked a rabid dog. Jean and I were there, and I remember I was driving, heard on the radio, oh, he's caught something. We literally got there seconds afterwards, and I went, it's a steer dog. I didn't know what to do. And of course, very sadly, that dog turned out test positive for rabies, so he had to go into quarantine for probably just under a year while getting treatment. Now, rabies can take quite a long time to manifest in certain animal species, so they had to keep him for that really long time in quarantine, and he was then released very quietly into the sands, and now he's back around. He's done some magnificent wandering, and the scientist who's put that collar on him and keeping up to date and following his movements is pops wonderful maps up on Facebook, and it shows you how he's been moving, and the scientist has nicknamed him the Wanderer. Of course, we at Safari Live know him as Sindile, or as sometimes we say it, mispronounced, Cindile. We've had some amazing times with that leopard before he went into quarantine. Jamie's had him follow, after tracking him and finding him on foot, Jamie's had him follow her back to the car. This is with him on foot, sort of sitting on top of a termite mound watching me as I try to figure out where he had gone. But so wonderful that he is back in the wild and doing well. So he was away for a very long time, and Annie's wondering, when he was in rehab, was he given the opportunity to hunt or was he fed? He was fed, Annie. So there's a very large misconception, and a lot of the, I don't know how to put this in a nice way, put it this way, people who claim that they're having lions and leopards in captivity because they need to teach them how to hunt. I can tell you for a fact it's an absolute load of blah 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 blah. But any of the big cats, even if they've been in captivity their whole life, if you dump it out in the wild, all it needs to do is to get hungry, and it knows how to hunt. Those skills are instinctive. They've got hundreds of thousands of years of evolution that is making sure that they have those skills. So there's no need to teach a big cat how to hunt. And I know there's quite a few of those lion farms, for lack of a better word, that claim that they're keeping these animals because they need to teach them how to hunt, and it's absolute nonsense. You do not need to teach a lion how to hunt. You can, as much as you don't need to teach.
Now, we're not really in the sighting, everybody. We're just standing by on the road here, and there he goes. He's just crossed the road, and he's going into the block there. I'm just going to find out if anyone's going to follow him. If they're not, then we're going to, because we're in a nimble little vehicle. Let's just see. Stations, he just crossed south over Gallagher Shortcut Road. If you want me to follow, let me know. Copy that. Right, tax says we must follow. I see him there. He's just gone down here, and I don't know that anyone else is going to be able to get a car in here. Can you see him? We'll try and pull in here, everyone. It's going to get noisy. Yeah, he's gone straight down this little game path here. We're just going to ease our way through, like I say, very thick. There he is, straight in front of us. Stations is now mobile north into the drainage. Okay, copy, thanks, Tex. He's now trotting. He's trotting through there. So it looks like he's going back to the road.
Right in front of us. Oh no, that's what they.
Yeah. I think he's going after that. So he went down into this drainage, everybody. I don't know that I can't get through there. Stations, he's gone north into the drainage here. I can't get this car in here. That's it. Wow. Okay. You reckon we can get through there, do you? All right, we'll try it. But then that's it. Be it on your head. Be it on your head when we're with one vehicle for TV. You really want me to go through here? Okay. Watch your head, everybody. That's a black monkey thorn, everybody. Acacia burkii, favourite food of the giant jewel beetle, which Steph found on drive yesterday. Let's just get it over the camera. It's caught VM now. VM is now basically stuck in the tree. That is, of course, his fault.
Alright, I'll get it now.
Right, there we go. Do you want me to go forward?
Not yet.
Well, I don't want to go backwards because that'll take your head off.
One more.
Alright, let's head it back across to Brent, see what he's doing. We might be lucky enough to get another view, but I don't think so, everyone.
And now go forward.
Welcome back, everyone, and how exciting as it is with young Sindile. James is trying to get you into the best position to get another view. Chandra and I are a bit sad we're not there to film VM stuck in a monkey thorn. That would have been quite amusing. And we're going to go head towards the Buffelshoek Hook waterhole now. Now there's that lioness who's been hanging on that area, and we're quite convinced she's about to give birth, or if not, she has already given birth in one of those little dry creek systems that flow into the Buffelshoek Hook waterhole. So always good to go check around there. Oh, morning impalalas. Careful, Cindile is around the corner. Oh, they are just so gorgeous. A young boy. Look at that. Looks like he's sniffing us. It actually looked like, did we drive over some leopard or lion dung that caused him to be quite curious? And look how wonderfully adaptive they are. And you see, you can't really see what she's feeding on, but as soon as an elephant pushes over a tree, impala are one of the first animals to take advantage of that nutrient-rich, those nutrient-rich leaves that would not normally be accessible to them. But also, they're feeding on every little grass, every little bit of food that's available in this drought. And that's what makes them such a successful species, the fact that they are not catholic in their diet. And they can change and adapt depending on the season or the year even. And quite often impala, of all the species we see, are the ones that start showing the signs of the drought last. about earlier, and it's a thing I feel quite strongly about, the not keeping of animals. Look after lions or cheetah. It's generally not for the good of the animal. I really believe in most of those cases it's people trying to feel better about themselves, and in a lot of circumstances those animals would probably be better off not being alive than being kept in some of those horrific conditions and panded to tourists. But it is a thing that I feel very, very strongly about, and of course it's one of those things that it looks so wonderful. I mean, let's go look after a lion cub. Now, apart from the fact that any one of those institutes, bar very few, if they ever say they're actually going to release something into wild, they're talking absolute nonsense. That animal's worth far more to them bringing in revenue being held in a cage or even in an enclosure. So it's a very sad industry, a bit like the circus. Unfortunately, most circuses these days are changing, and they're not keeping wild animals anymore, which is great in my opinion. But it is quite a hot topic in South Africa at the moment, with the canned lion hunting and these different things that are going on. But yes, it's one of those things. And I know, as I said, it was my opinion, and some of you might disagree with me, and I'm quite sure it'll be an interesting we've had this conversation around camp as well, so it is an interesting thing to talk about. But I firmly believe if you really love animals, you don't keep them in cages. Now, it has been a fantastic morning with young Sindile, and Vicky in New Mexico is saying, well, would we consider him a sub-adult now? Yes, Vicky, we definitely would consider him a sub-adult. And Vicky's also wondering, where should he go to find his own safe territory? Unfortunately for him, Vicky, he's not going to be safe for a couple of years yet. He's going to be a wanderer until probably around the age of 5, 6 years old, when he's big enough to challenge another male for his territory. And of course, as much as we would love to see him over and over here, for the good of the genetics of the area, he should probably push off quite far, we hope. But while he's this age, it's always amazing to have young male leopards around. They just pop up everywhere. I mean, so exciting. You never know where they're going to pop up. So it definitely does change the leopard dynamics in the area for a while. And of course, we saw Tingana a few days ago, but he's headed off to the south. But you never know when he's going to come back. And that's the amazing thing about being out here. We actually get to have a better understanding of long-term, over a long-term period, of what's sort of cracking with all the.
Hello everybody, we got out of the bush thankfully, no more injuries. Viam, quickly show us your injury. I did not offer Viam any first aid, but next to us is a herd of elephants, and it looks like they're heading straight towards the Galago Pan in a very neat line, and they've stopped now because they can hear my voice yakking away. So I'm going to leave them there, and we're going to go around straight to the pan and see if they don't pop out there to drink. And with my luck, there'll be one buffalo bull there, and the elephants won't pop out, but they're heading in that direction. I'm also hoping young Cindile might come this way as well. So let's see. So we left him about 500 yards to the north of us here, and maybe a bit more than that, maybe not yards, 500 feet. So maybe about 800 feet to the north of where we're sitting now. His general direction was coming this way, but I think you'll find that he spotted something that VM saw. We remember when VM said he's just in front of us, he flushed something out there. And so I think he's hunting in here. And this is that big thick block with 4 drainage lines. It's very lovely to walk in, but it's absolutely heinous to try and drive in. And so if he doesn't pop out, it's going to be difficult to go and see him again. But I was so encouraged by how relaxed he was around the vehicles. Right, here we are at the pan. I'm going to stop the car right here. And let's see if these elephants, in fact, can we move a little bit forward? We might get a better view of them coming out. Watch them not come out, and all we'll have to look at is some very old dung. They turn to get us into a good position. I'm not seeing them. We'll turn off now and then we might be able to hear them. Here they come, right out here. Brilliant. It's a stroke of luck, isn't it, VM? VM said to me, we can't film leopards, at least elephants, after we've been filming the leopard. I think we can. Marvelous. Brilliant stuff. Now this is one of the artificial water points, everyone, so this is not a water hole that is made by the landscape, and it will become more and more and more important, especially to the elephants as we go towards the dry season. And that's simply because elephants are highly water dependent. And it's not easy for them to cope, and they like fresh water. They don't like nasty water, they don't like bad water. Matriarch having a bit of a look at us there. Oh, look at the little one there. And they're listening to us. And I think the breeze, you'll find, has just touched them now, so they can smell us. And it is amazing how discomforting. It's amazing how discomforting leopards find, at least elephants find, the sound of human beings and the smell of human beings. You can see they've gone completely silent there. And Jan, a very valid question, which you're probably asking slightly tongue-in-cheek, but which has a serious answer. You want to know if I think the elephants could smell VM's picnic basket of fruits. Maybe, but you know, it would be, to these elephants, that would be an unfamiliar smell. They wouldn't really know what that was or what it meant or if it was good to eat. I think you'll find it's largely only elephants who actually have experience of oranges that would want to eat them. So I don't think that there would be a great deal of of desire. I think they're about to rush over here and try and drink or take VM's breakfast. So that cow in the front there, coming now to the left, I think is the matriarch, and I'm quite interested in why she's approaching us. We're going to be very quiet. I think she's just coming to give us a little bit of a warning. I can't really go anywhere at the moment, so So we're just going to sit here and I'm going to be very quiet. And as the heart rate goes up, I'll try and keep my voice calm. Viam is smiling like a Cheshire cat. She's not giving any indication of fear yet, or that she's threatened, but we are a little bit on the path that they like to take. I've just realized they do like to go down past here through the thickets. And she's just assessing as the matriarch. She's a young matriarch, and she's just assessing if we're actually a threat or not. That's why she's moving her back foot up and down. I don't know if you can see that. Now she's just saying, I'm not very comfortable with you. I can't really move. I mean, I could. I'm just reticent to move, everybody. I'm reticent to make a noise with the vehicle at the moment. I think she's okay, though. Okay, she's going to come past. Okay, we're just going to sit very still now and let her go past. Well done, girl. This is just wonderful. So she decided that she was prepared to have us in this proximity, but we're still going to be quiet. She's smelling us, just turning her trunk to us. So there's this little one standing next to us here. We're still going to stay quiet because she's going to call the others now, I think. Now they're talking to each other. I don't know if you can hear that. You'll have to have very good speakers to hear that. Very low rumble. And I think she's saying, come, let's go. But they're definitely, now we talk about trying to have as little effect as possible on these animals. And we are trying to have as little effect as possible, but there's no question that our presence here is affecting them. Now there's a buffalo that's just popped up into the area, and he's basically creating a bit of consternation as well. What I'm going to do, because I'm creating now a gap between these elephants, I'm going to move the car forward and get out of the way. I'm just going to give them some space. I'm going to move up here so that there is just some space between the matriarch and the rest of the herd. And then they can chase this buffalo if they want to. He'll go bungling off somewhere else. There we go. We've now opened up some nice space for them. So if they want to go back towards the matriarch, they can. If they want to stay and drink, they can. If they want to harass that buffalo, they can do that too. I know my audio is a little bit soft, everybody, but I'm not really sure why that's the case. I am speaking quite softly, of course. Being around elephants in that close proximity tends to make one do that. Wonderful sighting, this. So Viam, are you still sad that we came to film the elephants?
I like it.
He's a young cow. Ahmed Gallagher Pan. I'm coming that side now. So there's a leopard calling, everybody, on the northern boundary. I'm just going to ask Brent, or ask Kirsty to ask Brent if he isn't closer by than we are, on the northern boundary between Gallagher Shortcut and Aubrey's Road. Because if Brent is up there, then he needs to get in there quickly, because I think he was going to the old hyena den. But if he isn't, then we will go there straight away. I don't think it's Sindile calling. I'm pretty sure that will be Tingana or another male leopard. It would be very premature. Okay, I think we're going to go because Brent is at Bivelshoek Dam. Okay, let's move. Let's see if we can't go and see who's calling there, everyone. What an amazing elephant sighting that was. Just spectacular. They're still there. They're just wandering sort of gently down into the drainage. So let's go that way. The beefy will no doubt be cross with us. A little quick look at a hammerkop. Beautiful bird. Means hammerhead. Not Serbia. Maybe we can take a photograph of him. He looks so pretty. Beautiful shot of all his reflection. He's still calling that leopard. Okay, everybody, we're going to leave here. Hammerkop looking for frogs. At this stage, not many frogs. It's going to be largely insects and snails. Sorry, Beefy. I'm on my way. If? All right, let's go across to Brent, get an update from him, and I'll keep you posted as to when we get to the northern boundary. Toby, thanks.
We've got tracks of that lioness coming in and out of this area, but they are, of course, working on bolstering the down wall at Bivelshoek at the moment. So I think she might have cut a little bit further to the south. So we're going to go have a look around here, see if we got any tracks. If we don't find any tracks, we're going to go back to the last track, and I might take a little stroll into the bush. The leopards, Anya, it's just generally to work out their territory, so it's much easier to have a name. Normally scientists will actually just use a number. So say the leopard was born on Djuma, it would normally be DJ001, DJ002. But obviously it's not so fun to say, oh, we found DJ001 this morning. So we do give them names, and how the names work, it depends on what property the leopard is seen on, and they generally get naming. And then what will happen is all the guides will get together, and 3 or 4 names will be sort of proposed, and the most popular name voted named. And the naming process seems to change quite often, and depending where you are, there's different. Now, of course, out here oh, sorry, I thought I saw a lion track. And it's not. Out here, the way we do the naming and stuff is we will speak to Tax and Aubrey, who are the guides from Djuma, and we'll put forward, we've put forward a name, and then we'll speak to, say, for Karula's new cubs example, she spends quite a lot of time to the south, so the guys who drive there will put forward a name, and then when we all meet, the best, or the name that is most popular amongst both sets of guides wins. It'll be very difficult to name every impala, and we might get quite confused to which who's who. It's quite difficult to tell a lot of the antelope species apart. And with the lions, we normally name the pride or the coalition, not each individual. I'm really hoping this Nkuma lioness has decided to den in one of these little river systems here. Wouldn't it be fantastic to have cubs on Djuma? So I've been in the bush most of my life, so I've been very lucky to have some incredible sightings. Joey, morning Joey, who's in Australia, Joey would like to know what has been my best lion sighting ever. I did tell the story of the lion and the honey badger recently, which is definitely one of my top lion sightings. Let me try to think of another one. Actually, I think of one of it slightly different. It's not your sort of traditional sighting of a kill winning, and I've seen some amazing lion kills over the years. But I think one of the most memorable sightings for me, I was with my friend who's a photographer, and we were in the southern Selous Game Reserve, and we were tracking lions on foot, and we found where they'd killed a warthog. And what we did is we went around, and there were 3 lionesses and 2 cubs, and it happened to be sort of in one of those river systems, but it was end of dry season, so there was a lot of dead leaves on the ground, so it's very difficult to move quietly. So to try to figure out how we could get close, the lions had moved off to go have a drink, and there was a really big African ebony or jackalberry nearby. So my tracker in Dimboro, myself and Rob, we took our shoes off, and we sort of snuck as quietly as possible to this big tree, and we sat down, and we were no more than about 12 meters from that lion kill, and we sat very quietly behind this tree, and then the lions came back, and they didn't see us, and they started feeding. So 2 of those lions started feeding, and the cubs were lying behind, and then the 3rd lioness hadn't come back from a drink yet, and we were sitting there watching, and we were actually taking photographs, and they could hear the click, but they weren't really sure about where we were. And then my tracker in Dimboro was actually having a snooze. So we were sitting there watching these lions, he was sitting behind us, and he was having a little snooze, and then he obviously just heard that crunch of the leaves, and there was a lioness no more than about 3-4 meters behind us watching us. And when he let me know, I stood up very quickly and walked at her to try and push her away. Fortunately, she moved around and then went back to the kill, but we moved out there. And that was a really special and quite scary lion sighting. So no sign of the tracks coming out here, so she might still be in this area. Back towards the Buffelshoek waterhole. So this lioness has been popping up at all sorts of random times during the day, because she must have a den close by. If not, she's trying to find a decent den site. We've got lots of little river systems around here, so it's a really good spot. My favorite animal in the world is the African wild dog. Olmec, morning Olmec, welcome. He is wondering all the way from Michigan what happened to the dogs, where they're gone, have they left the area? And that they have. So they're denning at the moment, and both the den sites are quite far from where we are. So there's one den still in the Sabi Sands, and there is another in the Manyeleti, but they are a bit far. So while they have those dens, their hunting area is pretty close to those dens till the pups are about 4 or 5 months old and start running with the pack. So hopefully, once the babies get bigger, we'll start seeing more of them again. I just want to check one last big loop around the area, see if those lioness tracks come out on our northern boundary. While we continue our search for hopefully the Nkuma lioness and her cubs, let's go see what James is up to on the other vehicle.
We're just gonna have a quick look at the dam here. We're at Sydney's dam. They've just had Karula, everybody, crossing north over this boundary. So that's wonderful. No babies. But she's gone now straight north into an area that she hasn't patrolled for a long time. Now, I don't know how many of you have been sort of paying attention to where Karula's been. And Karula has basically spent, in most of the time that she's had these two youngsters, she's spent all of her time down in the southern reaches of her territory, basically in the corner between her territory and Shadows and Tundies. And I just think that's quite interesting, that she's now suddenly come up north. Okay, she's actually just behind us, everybody. She's just behind us. Waterbuck kudu impala there. Now we can't go to the left of your screen, we can only go to the right. Just going to see if we can get a quick view. There are also another 35 people trying to get into the sighting, so we won't be here for long. We will go back and have another quick look and see if we can find Sindile. Look, Viam, there's a Franklin. There's not much else we can do, I'm afraid, everybody. We have to just wait and see if she maybe pops out here. Crested Franklin, very beautiful Franklin. Probably the one, well, not the very one, but the same species that lost an egg at the very start of our drive this morning. A start of our most profoundly wonderful drive this morning. So I'm just listening to Ephraim in my ear, and he's just sort of, she seems to be walking around in that kind of hunting mode where they don't really seem to pick a direction of any one kind. We'll just have a quick look here. Yeah, no, she's gone north. Okay. Let's go. What we're gonna do, and we've been following Viam's directions and guts basically today, and that's served us pretty well up till now, so we're going to do the same. We're going to continue east along here, and we'll go down Mvubu Road, and that is sort of to the east of the road. It's the road to the east of where we lost Cindile, so maybe he'll pop out there. That's going to be our general modus operandi, as it were. And maybe we shall be lucky again. So the leopard calling here was Karula, and she's marking her territory up north here. Listen. Just listen. You can hear the impala calling way into Buffelshoek there. Bah, 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 bah. You can hear them. No babies with her, so they will probably be on Djuma then, because we know that she brought them up close. So it's highly likely that they're actually on Djuma, probably not far from the Djuma Dam. Which does bode very well for the TV shows, I must say. Maybe we'll have her on quarantine clearings. Well, now this is an interesting one, and Viam and I were just discussing the exact same thing. Sam Shamsung, you say, could Karula have smelt Sindile in the area? And my initial our conclusion was that yes, she would have smelt him if he's been urinating. Would she have called though because one would imagine that from his urine she could smell whether he was male or female, and would she call in the presence of a male leopard to advertise her presence, especially as she's got cubs, and I'm sure that she can smell the difference between Tingana and another male? Don't know that she would. So maybe she's just calling because she needs to mark her territory. But because this is the first time she's been this far north for a very long time. So I don't know exactly. Now, Cindile was in there, about 800 yards, or 800 feet down that away. So we'll just drive along here. We might be lucky that he pops out somewhere around where we are. Can't believe we saw him today. Right, Brenty's got some interesting tracks to show you. Let's go and find out what they are.
Well, we were following Lioness tracks, but now we've got a big Birmingham Boys track. Here's the back foot here, and you can see if I make a track next to it, how big it is. So from a length point of view, there's the back of my hand, and there's the tip of my fingers. So the back track you see is a little bit smaller. So obviously the front feet are much, much bigger because they've got to carry those heavy set shoulders. So you can see here's the front track. It's not quite as clear as the back track. And if I do the same with my hand, and we go, oh, there we go, that was a bit off. Sorry. There. And there's the back of my hand, and there's the back of the lion, and there's the tip. So where it nearly comes to the top of my fingers. And from a width point of view, if we use the stick, that's how wide my hand is there. And the lion back part of the pad is just as high. Sorry, I'm causing a bit of a traffic jam here. I'm going to just move off the road quickly. Morning. Male lion tracks. Okay. Abel's here. He's also probably going to be looking for these lions. Let me just get out of the way for him. There you go. Right. Okay, so there's male lion tracks heading that way to the west, straight towards the absolutely gorgeous Drakensberg. I'm just going to go down the road a little bit, let Abel's dust settle, and it is so crystal clear today. There's not a cloud in the sky. I think it's okay, Jean-Andre, has the dust settled enough? There we go, you can see the magnificent mountains in the distance. The Drakensberg, the Dragon's Mountains, as it was called by the first settlers that came into Africa. So those mountains are probably, as the crow flies, about 70 or 80 kilometers in a straight line from us. Sandy's wondering, are they part of the Kruger Park? They're not, Sandy. They are part of something that's called the Kruger to Canyon Biosphere Reserve, and there is a plan to have a wildlife corridor running from the Kruger through to the foothills of those mountains. There are some various game reserves in those mountains, but presently they're not part of the greater Kruger. I can't see where that male went. Jean-Andre, have you got tracks to that side? Negative. I've got a track here, still carrying on. Now, we do get wonderfully close to a lot of the animals here, and James is wondering how close can we get to a lion without it feeling threatened. Now, James, this completely depends on the day, the situation. Normally, we can get a few meters away, but you watch their behavior, see what they're doing, and that'll tell you how close or how far you should stay from them. Now, when a lion gets really, really close to you, normally what happens is you will stop. Say if there was a male lion walking down the road towards us, I would stop. I just thought I heard something there. I wouldn't push myself towards the lion. I'd rather let the lion come to me. I've actually had circumstances where it's been very hot and the lions have had a kill where there's not much shade around, where I've had a lion walk away from the kill and literally lie less than 30 centimeters, which I think is about a foot, maybe less than a foot, in the shade of my vehicle because there's been no shade around. Now that's always a funny one because now you can't move because the lion's too close. But if the animals come up to you and choose to get into your space, it's much better than us forcing ourselves into theirs. Just want to make sure he didn't. He did. Bad lion. He's unfortunately meandered off. You can see his tracks coming through here and he's gone to the north. Yeah, a big herd of buffalo also in that direction. I just had a burp, burp in the distance. So we're still checking for the lioness. She could still be very much in this area. But if she does have the cubs in one of these drainage systems, we're going to have to go in on foot at some stage and try to figure out exactly where that den is. We're going to continue checking very carefully around here, see if we can hopefully find that lioness. While we do that, let's go see what Commander Bond is up to.
Commander Bond is just driving around in his company 4x4 here. Very glad that he doesn't actually own the vehicle, given what we've put it through today. Anyway, Rusty has performed admirably well. We're now going down Mbubu Road. We've just reached Mbubu Road, so we may be lucky. We'll go and have another look at that hyena den that Jamie re-found or reopened the other day. And I don't know if you were watching, and I think Brent intended to go here today. I'm not sure if he actually made it here because his signal was a bit dodgy. But so he was going to try and come here. And Jamie found a female hyena at this den site on Mbubu Road on her own, indicating that she is not a dominant member of the hierarchy and that she's giving birth here and has probably given birth already to 2 new little cubs, which is fantastic. So let's go and see if we can find her. We haven't had sight of the cubs yet, and I think we're probably a bit early. Although, we haven't checked that den for a while, so maybe she's been there a week or 2. I did check it once after I got back from leave, and I've only been back 2 weeks. So yeah, I think we probably are a little bit early. Anyway, we'll go and have a look-see. Elephants are throwing vegetation all over the road. Do you think we've picked up a passenger? Justin, nice question from you. You say, aren't there any bushes out here that would be good in tea? Well, there's one that people will tell you is good in tea. I've tried it myself. I find it fairly distasteful. But there's one that's called Combretum herreroense, and there we go. I'll quickly get you one, Justin. So this is Combretum herreraense, or the russet bush willow, and the russet bush willow apparently makes a nice tea. Now I've made tea of this stuff a few times before, and it is it's just tasteless basically. So you're supposed to be able to make it. Does colour the water, I suppose. But there's another one called Lipia javanica, or the bushman's tea, that we don't really find here because it's not often wet enough. And I know Brent takes it as a medicinal tea when he's got a cold, and it's supposed to be very good for that. It's also quite a nice tea. It's kind of a minty tea, and so that's a good one. But otherwise, no. You'll find that there are very few sort of herbs out here that are very flavoursome, and I think that's probably largely because the soil here is so poor. So the nutrients in the soil are not conducive to sort of very aromatic herbs and things. But you do find a few. Right, we're going to pop down here. There's an impala there. A couple of impalas. That's not ideal when you're approaching a hyena den. Just going to turn the engine off and roll past these fellows. Not very quietly, because Rusty is inescapably noisy on account of the fact that she weighs 1.5 tons. I hope they don't notice that there's some of their kin's horns on the front of our vehicle. Now just to the right left of us here, there's a male kind of marking territory. You can see him horning that bush. And I think he's probably itchy, and I also think he's still probably full of sort of the rut's testosterone, so he's horning a bush. They always do this during the rut, and he seems to be still herding this harem of females. They will all be pregnant already, so he's wasting his time. You can hear it now. That lovely sound. I don't know how they don't spike their eyes out doing that. I mean, I promise you, if you were to go and headbutt that bush there like he's doing, you'd lose your eyes in 2 short headbutts. They're incredibly aware of where they are, you know, where all the important bits are. You do see the old impala that is got a blind eye, but I think you'll find that's largely because of the fighting that they do. I don't think it's got to do with this. Okay. Hold on, my audio is a bit soft. I just have to sort of position it on my balding head. How's that, Kirsten? A bit better? There we are. It's now drilling into the front of my forehead. Can you see it, Björn?
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit. It's one of Genre's innovations, as I said, and it will eventually work, but we're very much in model 1.0 at the moment. Around we go. Okay. Now, underneath the shade of the tambutis in front of us, we will be hopefully lucky enough to see a hyena and maybe some little cubs. Excuse me, everybody. Frog in my throat. No, I don't see anything there. We'll just stop and have a little bit of a listen. Oh, there she is. There she is. She's there. She's just coming out of the hole. I'm just going to stop here. Fantastic. Now, she's almost certainly got babies in there. And I know that there is a little bit of an access point further forward. So let's just try and go there. She's got used to us now. She will know vehicles. I don't think she'll be nervous of us. With any luck, we might have some little baby hyena cubs. Maybe Sindile will pop past here. I'm just going to try around the other side. No, this is going to be the best spot. We'll just go in where we used to sort of put our noses in. I'm pretty sure that she will be relaxed about that. And try not to run something over on the way and make a noise. Is that alright, VMP? There we go. So she is a little bit behind the bush. Let's just sit here for a while with her. I think those cubs are too young for her to call out right now. I think they're probably suckling as we speak. That's why she's got her hind end inside that hole. And I think we're probably about a week or two away from having those cubs come out. But I might be quite wrong. That's just how long it took Madam, the matriarch, when she was here. That's how long it took her to bring her cubs out to see us. So I think it will be worth a little wait here if you're happy to sit for a little while. And while we do that, Brent has found some elephants to have a look at.
Well, no luck with the lions, but we have found a nice big breeding herd of elephants. There's a big adult female in front of us there, eating off that acacia. And just off to the right of us, there's a little gang of youngsters. There's a young female closest to us. There's a small one just behind her. Now, I'm hoping they might head towards the Djuma waterhole. Oh, look how cute that is. Now, this is a savanna elephant. Tana in Oklahoma is wondering if elephants would survive in the rainforest. They do, and they actually thrive in the rainforest, Tana, but they're slightly different to these elephants we're looking at here. It's called a forest elephant, and they're much smaller, and their tusks are slightly different shaped. They go point down rather than curving upwards, and that's of course because they have to move through incredibly thick areas. Oh, look at him, he's just playing with the dead branch. Hello, lady. Just shaking her head at us, just reminding us that she's there. Now look at that difference in her tusks. I mean, it's very apparent which is her working tusk and which is not. You can see how short her right tusk is. Oh, Genre. Oh, I thought we were about to get stalked in the front of us. They just stumbled across the road. Look at this little thing. Very, very cute. Probably around just over 6-7 months old. And just from its behavior, I'd say it's a little boy. There's a tuskless cow coming through next to that little Ellie. Now, that's genetically, she's been probably born without tusks. I don't think she's broken both her tusks. And we do see tuskless elephants from time to time. Recently, we saw a tuskless elephant bull, and that is far more rare than a tuskless cow. Hey, you! He's sniffing us, putting its trunk towards us, giving us a good smell. Now, looking at this little baby Ellie, Justin's wondering what would we do if one charged us. Probably squeal in delight, Justin, to be honest. It's one of the more cute things you can see out in the African bush. And we've had some really wonderful little baby Ellie charges. Now, the rest of the herd slowly moving out in front of us. We've got some more youngsters over there. There we go. Here comes a baby elephant charge. Well, it looked like it was on its way. Now, quite often, you've got to not watch the babies so much, but the adults. The adults, if the baby's charging you and the adults are relaxed, then there's no problem. But if they do get the adults riled, then you do have to be a little bit more careful. Ooh, thinking about it. So that little one, just judging about from how dexterous it is with its trunk and how big it is, probably a year and a half old, maybe even a little bit older. Hello, mama. There's a big female crossing the road, giving us a little inspection. Yes. Hello, lady. And off she carries on, wagging her tail happily as she goes in search of more to eat. Let's just move back a little bit. This little one is being very, very cute. Playing around with mom there. Oh no, he's hiding behind the bush. Now, you can see there's that big female who doesn't have any tusks. And Arcadia is wondering, how tall is the baby? Well, a big elephant cow like that is probably around 2.5, maybe a bit more than 2.5 meters at the shoulder, maybe just under 3. So that little one is probably about a meter, maybe a little bit higher than a meter. Well, actually about 1.5 meters tall. Yeah, Arcadia was wondering about the height and size difference in the Ellies. Well, they got to keep eating, and they're definitely struggling, or going to be struggling as we go into the dry season to find enough sustenance to keep them going. At the moment, there's still quite a few leafy plants around, but as we move further into the drought, they're going to be less and less. What are you? She's busy eating a cluster leaf. Hello, big lady. There's the little one. Looks like he's up to mischief. Yes, that is a very mischievous looking elephant. Look at that. What are you up to, little monster? I'm just going to move forward a little bit so the herd passes next to us. Remember, it's always important to let the car run. Yes, I see you, big lady. That's why I'm letting the vehicle... Don't be silly. Don't be silly. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be naughty now. Okay, I'm not going to move the car. I'm going to let the elephants move away. She's just got a little bit uncomfortable there, and I don't want the Ellies to be uncomfortable. Now, it's actually quite often the tuskless elephants that tend to be a little bit more difficult than the tusked variety, and I'm not sure why. Maybe they feel a little bit inadequate, but they tend to be a slightly more aggressive in my experience. Yeah, well, it seems everything's calmed down now. There we go, let the vehicle run for a few seconds before moving. Mom, you forgot me! Mom, Mom! There we go, back with Mom. No, that's not your Mom. Mom's to the left. Okay. Oh, just adorable little creatures. Here we go, back with Mom, panic averted. Definitely hasn't quite mastered the use of the trunk yet. That elephant's seen something. It's charging at something in the bush there. I wonder... I don't think it's another elephant. There could be a predator around there. It's just very strange behavior from that one elephant cow. Let's go have a quick look. And then she raised her head and then dropped her head and charged off. She could be chasing a lion or a leopard, even a hyena. A kudu, oh, they could also chase. I have seen them chase kudu and other antelope. Where did the kudu run, John? Yeah, I think that way, towards the elephant. I think maybe she's just being a little bit otherwise, chasing the kudu around. Yes, they're very scary. Now, so I've seen elephants chase kudu, I've seen them chase zebra, warthog, wildebeest, anything actually, if the mood takes them. They are so massive that everything's got to really get out of their way. And the rest of the herd, we'll see their bottoms disappearing as they head towards the Mawati River system. Bye, guys. Keep a lookout on the Djuma Dam cam. They might pop out there just now. We're going to see what else we can find for the last little bit of this sunrise safari. While we do that, let's go see what James is up to.
I'm back at the Galago Pan, everybody, hoping that young Sindile might have popped out here. But I don't see any of his tracks, nor do I see his golden dappled coat. But there on a tree, everybody. What is that, Viam?
It's a mantengo.
It's a mantengo, exactly. A forked-tailed drongo in glorious super zoom, black against blue. Isn't he nice? He's just enjoying a bit of the sun, and the weather has warmed up substantially since we came out this morning. It's probably sitting at around, I would say, what, 20 degrees or so Celsius? So sitting at around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Which is not bad going for middle of winter. Hello, Mantengu. Mantengu is a Shangaan word that these birds have. Shangaan name, not Shangaan word. And it's onomatopoeic, like most of the local bird names. It has to do with the sounds that they make. And if you listen to a fork-tailed drongo, especially as the dying embers of the day are fading, you can hear them saying, Mantengu, 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 Mantengu. Not so, Viam.
Yes.
Exactly like that, isn't it?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Mm.
Oh,
Trippy.
right. Okay, well, I'm sure I can find 1 or 2 acacia trees before we get home to scrape along the top of your head.
Well, I can find some zebra wood to scrape along your knee.
Yes, I'm sure you could. Hello Eliza in Canada, thank you very much for your question. You say, is it possible, now I must just get this word right, because the final control sent me through a astounding interpretation of the word. I think the word they were going for was familiarities. Is it possible that he might find some familiarities around here? Yes, I think absolutely he would. I think he would recognize various areas here. The final control said, would it be possible that they would find some familiarity? Kirsten, try it together. 1, 2, 3. Familiarity. There we are. I think he would absolutely recognize many things that he can see out, that he knew from out here, and I think that's why he walked very widely around this area to start with, and now he's come back around here and he's starting to kind of home in on the area where he used to hang about. Hopefully he stays, maybe he won't. But I mean, I have no experience of reintroduced male leopards, so I really have no idea what he's going to do. There's a little nyala. Quite nice to see Sindile steaming out of the bush to catch it. It's a young bull, nyala. And another one just coming in front of us, quite close by. Let's see if I can get this incredibly slow camera to take a picture of him. Come on, come on, come on, Henry. Come on. No, missed it, haven't you? Yeah, you have. Absolutely hopeless photographer. Why aren't you on the Nyala there, yeah? Truly dreadful effort. Leo Smith would have popped off about 74 photographs by the time I turned mine on. One day I'll take a man-sized photograph. Brent has his on a setting, of course, that takes 47 photographs every time he pushes the shutter down. Sounds like the dim crackle of rifle fire at Rorke's Drift circa 1879. If you don't understand that reference, don't worry about it, it's not important. It's extremely obscure. Watch your head, Wiem. There we go. Kirsten's just learned to say familiarity, everybody. She is from Durban, and so it's not surprising that it was a long word for her. Generally, 3 syllables is where their sort of education level stops in Natal. Familiarity. 6 syllables. No wonder it was such a trouble. Got it now, though. I'm going to be in a deep amount of trouble when I arrive home. Anyway, nothing she can do right now. Oh, blue wax spill. Now, we had a rather amusing time in the tent during our rehearsal yesterday, everyone. See if we can find this blue waxbill for you. Steph found a blue waxbill that had fallen from its nest and become impaled on a ziziphus bush. Oh, it's gone. And it basically, it's quite an impressive thing to see if you sort of examine it close by. It's a tiny little bird skeleton, about that big, about 2.5 inches long. And I mean, I suppose I could bring it on drive and show it to you, but apparently on screen it looks like a sort of piece of beef jerky or biltong hanging from a bit of branch, and so I've been told that I may not do a sequence in the tent with the dead blue waxbill again. I thought it was quite good. Anyway, we'll see. Let's pop on to quarantine clearings for the last few minutes and see if anything's going on there. No more Sindile today. Yeah, Justin, I'm beginning to think that you're absolutely correct. You said I should keep those horns as a good luck charm. Yes, they were. I mean, collecting them wasn't very lucky at all, as I managed to take most of the flesh off my rather plover-like left leg. But yes, certainly their presence seems to have been very lucky indeed.
I think I know how it works.
How?
It takes pain and
Yes.
turns it into luck.
It takes pain and turns it into luck. Yes, because you were also very badly injured, weren't you? Severe cut to the
I
hand.
have to go see the medic.
Yes, we're going to have to go and see the medic. And that is actually Viam. Although medic would be an extremely strong term for what I'd describe Viam's skills, especially as he's not once tried to even apply them. There is Brent Leo Smith driving past us. Well, we're driving past him more. We're all homing in on quarantine. I'm sorry you have wind on my mic, Kirsten. It's because where's the fluffy? What was attached to it to stop the wind, everybody, was this thing. Now, this thing, of course, is what I had strapped to my chin yesterday when I did my Abraham Lincoln impression. And unfortunately, you can imagine if that was under your head. It's just very uncomfortable. Makes me look like I have an enormous acne chorb, sort of developing. Yeah, we will sort that out, like I say, version 1.0 of the head microphone. Now it's broken.
Yeah, no, I got it back.
Now you got it back. Not much going on quarantine. It's got a bit of a summer's day feel about this, I've got to tell you. It's quite warm. And everything seems to have hidden in the shade. I think we'll do one last pop down to the water hole, see if anything's there, and then we'll head home. Oh, not before... no. Not before Peter Braat, who's... I think he must have been doing about 100 kilometers an hour as he came round the corner there.
Right, it's gonna get better.
It's going to get better. Wait, everybody. Great excitement. Here we go. The entire technical team in one car. You'll notice there the Russian, Alex Wozniacki, is back. Connor is eating. Connor eats 24 hours a day. Well, maybe the 8 hours that he's asleep he doesn't eat. It's been a wonderful, wonderful drive. Thank you for coming along with us. It's gorgeous morning, and of course massive highlight Cindile. Thank you, VM, for your efforts. We'll hand you back to Brent for the last minute and see you this afternoon. No, we won't. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
What an exciting sunrise safari. Unfortunately, we didn't have any success with those lions, but amazing that young Cindile popped in for a visit. I know lots of you will be very excited about that. As I said, it does change the leopard dynamics in the area a bit. Hopefully he stays to this northern corner, because Karula seems to be keeping her cubs down in the south there. So let's hope he stays away from those cubs. He does pose a very real and dangerous threat to them. It's still exciting to see him, and fantastic that he's back in the wild. We're doing one last perusal around the western edge of the quarantine clearings. Also, Karula was found this morning just to the north of where Sindile was, and she was heading east, so we might have some luck with her in the next couple of days as well. And I know she has brought the cubs onto Djuma somewhere. Last night she brought them onto Djuma, so they're probably being stashed in that little river system around the treehouse dam. And from Jean-Ry and myself, have on back vehicle doing a rehearsal, and we will be with you again for the sunrise safari tomorrow morning. And these mornings are absolutely beautiful at the moment, and I really love getting out there and looking at those fresh tracks and hopefully finding an animal or two. But we're going to leave you on that great note that young Cindile has been found again, looking happy and healthy, and we'll see you on tomorrow's sunrise safari.